Iran before and after Islamic Revolution. You know how Iran is known for following Islamic rules so strictly, right? But here's something interesting. Not many people realize how different Iran was before 1979. Back then, women had way more freedom. They could dress how they wanted, and believe it or not, there was even a ban on wearing the hijab. Women were fully involved in society, contributing to the culture and making strides. But after the Islamic Revolution, everything flipped. The rules changed drastically. Let's compare how life in Iran looked before and after the revolution. The 1979 revolution, which united Iranians from various social backgrounds, has deep roots in the country's long history. It all began in 1921, when the United Kingdom played a key role in helping Reza Shah Pahlavi establish a monarchy. However, in 1941, both the UK and Russia forced Reza Shah into exile, leading to his son, Mohammad Reza Pahlavi, taking over the throne. Fast forward to 1953, and a major power struggle emerged between Mohammad Reza Shah and Prime Minister Mohammad Mossadegh. In 1963, the Shah of Iran, Mohammad Reza Pahlavi, started a series of reforms called the White Revolution to modernize the country. However, not everyone agreed with these changes. Ayatollah Khomeini, a religious leader, strongly opposed them and was exiled from Iran in 1964. Despite Khomeini's exile, the tension between him and the Shah's government kept growing. By 1977, protests against the government began, bringing together different groups like communists, socialists, and Islamists. In August 1978, a tragic fire at Cinema Rex killed about 400 people. Many believed that the Shah's secret police, Savak, was responsible, which angered the public even more. This event became a turning point, leading to massive strikes and protests that spread across the country. On February 1, 1979, Ayatollah Khomeini returned to Iran after being invited by the government. His arrival in Tehran was met by thousands of supporters. Just a couple of months later, in March 1979, a referendum was held where 98% of voters approved transforming Iran into an Islamic republic. After this, the new government began drafting the constitution that still governs Iran today. By December 1979, Khomeini had officially taken the role of supreme leader, solidifying his authority in the newly established Islamic Republic of Iran. Before Khomeini's revolution transformed every aspect of Iranian society, the country was a very different place. According to International Policy Digest, IPD, pre-revolutionary Iran had a much more modern and open society compared to the strict religious state it became after 1979. The shift dramatically changed the nation's political, social, and cultural landscape. Before revolution, studying at Tehran University was already common for many women. However, after the Islamic Revolution, the number of women attending university significantly increased. One reason for this was that the new government successfully convinced conservative families, especially in rural areas, to allow their daughters to study away from home. Initially, there were attempts to limit women's access to education, but as Baroness Haleh Afshar, a professor of women's studies at the University of York and an Iranian native, explains, they tried to stop women from attending university, but there was such a backlash that they had to allow them to return. She adds that when some educated people left Iran, the government realized they needed to educate both men and women to run the country effectively. During the Pahlavi era, women's dress in Iran underwent significant changes due to westernization and modernization. Under Reza Shah, the hijab was banned in a policy called Kashf-e-Hijab, and women who resisted faced harassment and imprisonment. During Mohammad Reza Shah's reign, clothing rules became more flexible, and women in urban areas embraced Western styles, wearing dresses, skirts, and luxurious fabrics, though some still wore hijabs based on personal preference. After the 1979 Islamic Revolution, the new government made hijab mandatory for all women, marking a stark shift in dress regulations. This compulsory dress code has since sparked opposition from activists and citizens, leading to ongoing protests against mandatory hijab laws. In 1977, hair salons in Tehran were busy and popular, but that's something you wouldn't expect to see today. This is a scene you would no longer expect in Iran, says Professor Afshar. Even after the Islamic Revolution, hairdressers still existed, but things changed. Now, men are not allowed inside women's salons, and women have to cover their hair as soon as they leave. Some people even run secret salons in their homes where men and women can mix freely. The revolution brought major changes, making personal grooming more restricted and modest. Before 1979, Iran's economy grew rapidly, shifting from an agrarian society to an industrialized one. The 1970s saw major investments in infrastructure and oil, boosting urbanization and economic growth. However, the 1979 revolution brought significant changes, leading to drastic economic challenges. In 1970, Iran's poverty rate was 25%, and by 1979, the country's nominal GDP had reached around $90.32 billion. At that time, the Iranian rial was strong. 1 USD was equal to 71.46 rials in March 1978. Today, however, the currency has depreciated significantly, with 1 USD now worth 42,102.50 rials. By the late 1990s, Iran had become a major food importer, and economic hardships in rural areas drove many people to migrate to cities. While literacy and life expectancy rates are high compared to the region, Iran struggles with high unemployment and inflation rates, typically around 20% annually. The country remains heavily dependent on petroleum and natural gas exports, but the government faces challenges in providing jobs for a younger, more educated workforce. This lack of opportunities has led to growing frustration among lower and middle-class Iranians. Iran is facing significant economic challenges this year, with limited prospects for sustainable growth. The country desperately needs investment, but harsh US sanctions and the low likelihood of a diplomatic breakthrough with the West make it difficult to attract foreign capital. Iran's population is aging, with fewer young people today compared to before the revolution. Economic instability and high unemployment have made many young Iranians delay starting families. This aging population could strain the country's welfare system in the future. To address this, Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei has been encouraging women to have more children. He has set a goal to increase Iran's population from 91 million to 150 million to support the country's future needs. The December 1979 Constitution of the Islamic Republic of Iran declares Shia Islam as the state religion. A key concept in the constitution is guardianship of the jurist, Wilayat al-Faqih, which is based on 12-hour Shia Islamic law. This concept holds that in the absence of the infallible Imam, the religious and political leader of Islam, whom Shia believe will return before the Day of Judgment, the highest religious authority, or a jurist, should govern the country. This gives the supreme leader both political and religious authority in Iran. In Iran, the president is not the top authority. The supreme leader holds the highest power. Even if a president wins the election, they must still receive approval from the supreme leader before being officially sworn in. Khomeini served as the guardian jurist supreme leader of Iran until his death in 1989. After his passing, Ali Khamenei succeeded him and has been in power ever since, continuing to hold the position of supreme leader. Which side of Iran impressed you more, before or after the revolution? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, hit subscribe, and click that bell icon so you never miss out on our latest videos. Catch you in the next one.